Hey, what's up, Podcast America? Welcome to episode 38 or 39, I think.
39, I think.
I think it's called 30 You're Welcome.
Yeah, 30 You're Welcome of the Enlightened Neanderthals. And before we get into it, let's talk about our homie, Tyler Stanaway, and the CompassionateViking.com and everything that he has going on out there, which is just gets continually more and more difficult to explain. But it's a lot of fun. And I would say just go follow him on social medias or on his website and listen to his podcast, because you will find yourself
in awe.
Yeah.
Enamored with
Enamored
some
would be the right word.
Impressive knowledge of plants and medicine and spirituality. Can you hit me with it, boys?
That's what I was.
Sorry, little Mike.
And then you can go check out my own Training Northwest LLC.com. Our 2024 shooting class calendar is now up on the website, and I will not be adding any more shooting classes. However, I did have dinner with Brent the other night, and so
Nice.
first aid and commo class is coming in June. It's not posted yet, so look forward to that. But
I feel first aid gets skipped over so much.
Yes, it does.
It's such a fun category and just, I don't know.
yeah, and important.
Yeah.
There might also be some little surprises along the way with your classes, though, right?
Oh yeah, no. We have more announcements that will be coming in the first quarter of this year. There's yet another one that Jordan and I are talking about. That's you guys have well, actually anybody who's looked at Instagram saw the sheep that we butchered on New Year's Eve and cooked over an open fire. So we're going to do something along the lines of pasture to table, and teaching heritage skills. Taking an animal or literally right out of your field or backyard
Or somebody else's. Fuck it.
Yeah, or somebody else's. Mad Max style. Yeah. And then we got Allegiance Holsters at allegianceholsters.com, and use code TNW10 at checkout there to save yourselves a little bit of money. Michael.
Book report. This was actually Jordan's book report, but
Jordan.
I am no, hang on. I came in here with a book boner. I had the biggest book boner. How excited did I come to talk about stats?
You were on
and
fire.
Yeah, I love books, and I love stories, and I love stats, and I like talking information.
All of it.
But
Mike's that's why his pages are all stuck together.
yeah.
Can't read it anymore.
My stats are stuck. But it's as much as my stats are stuck, I love, I would never read this fucking book. I never read this. It's never in my wheelhouse. But you recommended it, and it forced me to read it. And it's like I come with my objectivity and my input and what I think is important or pertinent to my life. And it was a fun just kind of dig of going and looking at what you think is interesting. I feel bad in a way. I didn't ask you as much what I think, why. I asked you a little bit why you like this book, but if we're recommending something, I kind of feel like it's something that we have a little bit of interest or inherent, you want to know more, or you think the world's kind of made of this thing. And this book that you just recommended and I thought nothing of, I fucking fell in love with, dude. And it made my mind explode. This, mental masturbation.
Yeah.
There it is, boys.
Drip, drip.
All right. Enjoy the episode, you guys. All right, Jordan.
And we're live.
This was
Recorded. Never mind. This is the book report. We've been skipping a few of them, but we're back on it, boys.
Yeah.
Book report on An Immense World by Ed Yong. And it is a book basically about...
should we say real quick, published by...
Random House.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Random House.
We do everything legal here.
Oh, perfect. I didn't realize that was a thing you had to do.
Yeah.
Well,
We just hold ourselves to a higher degree.
Yeah, no. Good to know. Good to find out on the podcast.
You assholes.
Yeah, so it's a book about animals' senses and their ability to distinguish the world differently than us, and what that means, and kind of a thought-provoking book, I thought, for many different reasons, like inventions and just how we interact with the day-to-day world compared to other things, and why certain animals evolve a certain way and what that means. And then I found myself the whole time wondering, how the hell do they know any of this? Yeah. So
yeah, they kind of lay out a lot of the experiments, but real quick to summarize, just for people listening, the book is about different animals. What do they call it? Like an umwelt, which is like a umwelt.
Yeah.
Fancy word for the way different creatures experience reality based on different senses, and the way we as humans are, we're very vision centric, and we're also very self-centric, which means we try to think of everything in terms of visuals, right? You know, like when we try to explain to kids what a snake sees through its infrared receptors, we do it in terms of a colored photo or a colored picture, right? So we try to make everything visual, when the reality is most animals don't experience reality visually. They use some other sense or some other antenna.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do visually from the book I learned.
Not as a primary. Very few use vision as a primary.
Yeah. But even visually, a lot of things have visual. I mean, it's rare that most things are like the sonars of the bats or the weird feeler. You know, I think so many things have commonalities with us as humans, but I think a lot of that visual stuff was interesting, like talking about the eyes and like the color spectrum, like whether it's a monochrome eye, trichrome, where you have different amount of sensors to perceive colors. So once you start to...
It's the different cones, right?
Yeah.
You have cones
for
a
and
specific wavelength.
Yeah, to pick up, and some have different levels, it seemed like. Like they, what was it, mono set, a dual set, and a triple set. I forget the exact words, but it just allows you to perceive different colors, and some can perceive colors that are ultraviolet, right? Yeah. Humans can't normally perceive ultraviolet light. But remember UV. That example, there was a European woman and a couple people that could perceive ultraviolet. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see some of like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Oh. This book got me thinking.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting book.
It even goes back to what I think I talked to Tyler about this. I can't remember if it was on our show or his, but we are limited by our five senses, mm-hmm. and there could be so much more to the universe that we have no idea about, because we literally just don't have a sense that allows us to interact with it.
Yeah, but we have all the senses that these things do. We just don't use them to the full potential.
We do not have infrared sensing ability like a snake.
You can feel heat through your body through sensory. That's not infrared, but that's temperature.
Yeah, that's not
everything is sensing in this book: vibration through sound, electromagnetism. No, I mean, it's a good... This book really got me thinking, like, how animal senses from the Cambrian explosion can change and harness to the unique environment. Like, everything has a little bit of chemical reaction in single cells, but having electrical impulses, to have a working brain and nervous system and muscle twitch and everything firing at the same way. Well, in one set of animals, it goes off and it becomes a high thinking. It uses a lot of that electricity to be smarter, to graze grass even, to cover distance and have mass and raise things. But then you have things that go even more into the electrical impulse, like the electric eel. Mm-hmm. And not only does it use electricity to move its body and work its brain, but it uses it as a feeler to send out like shocks. Yep. And when things react to that shocks, then it notices. And so that's not only hearing, that's sight, mm-hmm. So it's using your senses through all kinds of things that we still have communication with, whether it's touch, whether it's sight, whether it's electrical, the electromagnetic one, or the magnetic field. Not that one kind of got me weird too, because it makes me think about like when
maybe there's something to all this 5G paranoia.
Well, not only that, but think
bees
about
and birds are using the Earth's electromagnetic field to
Fucking
navigate
turtles.
yeah, exactly.
But not only that, think about there's people that are better at navigating. You ever go hunting or out in the woods and someone you're just like, this person's naturally better at constantly knowing where they are in proximity from where they left or where a next mountain range
Yeah,
is.
you guys are welcome.
One trip, buddy. But like, that's kind of what that experiment with the birds were around this migratory period of 9/11, right? When those birds, when they put out the lights from the commencement towers, it's the same time 9/11 that migratory birds fly over New York. But those lights fuck with them, and you'll see circling birds all the time during that same period, right? But that's when they're on their path, and birds get weird right before migration. They did that one.
What'd they say? They had a word for it, but they get like active, basically.
Yeah,
restless.
yeah. Restless. They have anxiety,
Yeah.
like because they're
Big journey coming up.
It's like right before you go in the cold tank, you're like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to fucking do this. And what are you doing? You're jumping up and down. These birds are doing that because they know they have a migratory path. They have to fly thousands of miles and travel somewhere different for the winter. But how do they know where to do that? They know how to go on that journey because of the the magnetic field. And they did that one experiment where they set up, what changes the electromagnetic field around you? What are they called? Coil conductors? Where you can change the magnetic field around you through your charge and electricity.
Your personal field, or what are we talking about?
No. They did that experiment where they had the birds. Did you guys read this book?
Yes.
What do you think we're electricians?
I know, right? Magnetic fields and currents. What?
Yeah. So
Number 12 wire.
yeah.
Just go with that.
Yeah, it's an eddy current.
So during this time when these birds had the anxiety because they knew they had to travel.
They put a current through a cage around them that shifted.
I didn't think it was the cage. It was not the cage.
a
They
Faraday
set it up
cage.
like a
Right, but-
Tesla coil or a
Whatever
fucking
they did, they shifted the perceived
magnetic current
field. Yes.
and the degree of which they shifted it in
180.
correspondence to the Earth and where they would have to go if they were flying to the southwest during the winter.
He's getting excited.
Dude, but it's like,
So Mike's over here thinking, how can I get these ducks to fly closer?
yes. As a hunter, this hit a bunch of cool points.
a lot.
It made me think that.
How can I become invisible? And that's what makes me curious about that hex suit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nailed it. I got a buddy that wears one, and he
I
gets
know.
close all the time. I'm
Explain.
like, is there something?
So
to it?
there's a suit called the hex suit, and it basically muffles or hides your electric in like whatever
Oh, shit.
your pulse
Yeah.
that you put
Your
off.
your fucking spirit.
Yeah, it hides it. So like there's video of motherfuckers who put the suit on and then they squat down and they walk up to turkeys.
What?
And there's other ones where they'll sit there and fucking coyotes run right up to them. And they can see something's there, but you don't
You give
put off your
no-
fucking...
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, so these coyotes are like run up to them and they look. And the video for the hex suit is pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah?
It's a pretty cool looking, so if you guys got
You'll-
time,
We're
look
gonna
at that.
check one of these out.
You'll see a lot of divers wear them, and fish especially. Like, think about
Yeah.
tuna. They go so far in distance for migration. Birds, fish,
yeah, whales.
Turtles.
moths, butterflies, insects, whales. Everything uses it in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
But
We do. We
Just-
just don't understand.
exactly.
Naturally, we just do.
so, like I was saying earlier, these are all things that we have in us. We all came from the Cambrian explosion in this beginning point where a lot of life on Earth came from one period of time, and it just somehow over billions of years it changes. But all of us kind of harness a little bit of it. And like I was saying, you'll meet people that can see ultraviolet. You'll meet people that have a better sense of direction than other people.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting understanding how animals kind of see the world and view the world, and what does that correlate to people? How do you see sometimes what is a unique person or someone that has a particular skill or trait that seems better than other people? Like, not everyone's born equal. Mm-hmm. Some people have better muscle mass. Some people have better eyes. What is that related to?
Bigger
from
wieners.
where we yeah.
Better swimmer.
Yeah. But it kind of all connects to like how things are seen. Adaptation. This is evolution. But you have select groups that really go nuts. From the feeling chapter about like otters touching and sensing, but the same thing of not only whiskers, but what they can do for what are sea cows?
Hippopotamuses.
No.
Hip-hop anonymous.
What's a sea cow? What are those things like in Florida that eat the?
You're talking like the women that hang out on South Beach?
They're out there.
We're getting closer in proximity of location.
Jordan's friend from last weekend?
Yeah. FatCon was this Friday. Anyway, sorry, we digress.
FatCon?
Seattle has a FatCon.
Excuse me.
Is that a manatee?
Yes, a manatee.
Okay.
Right? And they have different whiskers.
They say that the manatee was
Sea cow.
sea cow, but that's what the legend of mermaids came from.
How many genders of manatee are there? Are there deities?
Deities.
Manatee.
Yeah.
And
zeaties.
Yeah.
But they say like drunk sailors thought that they were women.
And fucked them.
Oh,
probably.
I've heard legends of sailors hooking up with sea animals, like delusional lost at sea and
get fucked by a dolphin.
But what do guys on land do? It seemed like they fuck lambs, right?
Or goats.
Wasn't goats?
we just ate it.
Yeah. Had to season it somehow.
I don't know how we got here from the book.
Sorry. Anyway, back to the book. Sorry, guys. Somebody's driving and sitting in traffic going, you sons of bitches right now. I'm sorry. Anyway, so back to
sea cow?
Sea cows.
Feeling. But they can have different, they feel through the whiskers and they have short ones and long ones, and they get like the hair stands up on your back of your neck when you have a feeling. When it's food time, they have ones that set out and they feel differently. Short, coarse ones compared to those long ones, right? And so they can actually use them, manipulate them to sense food and pick it out through the seaweed and push it in. Or if something gets lodged in their mouth they don't like, those whiskers can go in and pull it out.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
It's all in the book.
All in the book, dude.
I might have skipped that part. It got a little wordy talking about different experiments with bugs' feet and how they send. And as I started,
they smell through their.
See, but nonfiction's me. That's.
I had to start skipping through it.
Well, that's okay. No. That's okay. I listened to it, so I didn't get all the pictures you guys did.
But yeah. I'm going nuts. What? So this is your book. What are your favorite parts about this book, Jordan? Because I could rant about all kinds of things, but I would like to rant about what you enjoyed most out of this book. Why did you recommend it? What do you like from it? What do you get? Like the hunting thing just nailed.
That's what I really liked about it. I liked the thought of, just the thought of what would it be like to see the world with the, okay. So I really want to
see it, experience it,
but I really like, there's inventions like thermal, there's inventions like night vision, there's inventions like,
all visual.
Visual, but then there's inventions like scuba tanks, all these different things. They don't really go into like that kind of thing where they're underwater, like getting oxygen or anything like that. They don't talk about that. But there's all the inventions we have, I feel like a lot are based on animals.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sonar.
And using an animal as the, like, oh, look at this thing that's natural. How cool would it be to fly? Well, I'm going to figure it out. Like humans have done that forever. So,
but I think that's humans do that with nature because they're back engineering nature quite a bit because nature has had billions of years to progress to this point where it's like that thing I liked, auditory, I forget what chapter it was, but talking about barn owls, which I never knew, the way, not only do they have terrific ears, but the way that their feather construction is on their chest and how it flares out, it works as a satellite dish.
To
So,
pull in.
so
they can
micro
turn.
sounds come right wherever their body is. It takes the smallest of sound, and those feathers funnel that sound straight to its ear. So it's like,
And
it's
we have that. We've invented that.
Yeah. So,
and we didn't invent it, but we did.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
those
what we do.
telephone Or the
Oh yeah, the big umbrella. Yeah, the dish.
the dish to be able to like listen in on conversations from far away or different things like that. Yeah, it's all like everything that's invented is a natural phenomenon in some sort of an animal. It feels like
But a problem
the talking on a cell phone, and you start looking at like the mycelium networks and how that works, and how trees send impulses through the ground to go turn leaves bitter on its baby tree so it doesn't get eaten by the
other
elephants
bugs and stuff. Yeah.
It's like there's things that are a fucking foot that we are just copying. We are trying to copy and make our lives. We want the best of all of it, and we just keep pushing to get to the next level of all of these things. So that's what I was when I was really looking at this book. I was heavily thinking about getting night vision, and part of me was like, how cool would it be to have night vision, like as just something you could fucking see at night, not getting anything, but just being able to see,
Not having to wear something. Just
just
had
having it. Yeah. So there's and not that anything has night vision.
If
But
you found a magic bottle with a genie in it, that's your guys' number one wish too, right?
night vision.
Night
Yeah.
vision.
Just-
Or am I alone here?
No, I
After
think,
reading this book, I think echolocation vision would be pretty fucking cool.
yeah. Well, wasn't it? What was it that they could like kind of see through the walls and shit with the?
With the bats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, it's just that's what sonar is. And didn't they say that the military used more for
Didn't they get busted? Isn't that what Roombas use? So technically, someone could reverse
Well,
hack your Roomba and get a
router.
3D
Yeah, you got a
picture,
map.
and your router,
Yeah.
and they can get 3D imaging of the inside of your house, including where people are,
yeah.
by recording the way those signals bounce off of biological material.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But I
fucking
mean,
crazy.
hasn't the military, I mean, what were submarines and radar, then sonar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's all the same shit. They just figured out how to get it into your house, and
it's true. And you paid for it. Yeah. Oh, I need this. It's going to clean my floor for me.
oh, it's so wild.
Anyway, there's a lot in this book that like is worth a read because of the amount of wandering your mind goes. Like I couldn't get through this book in like however long it takes to read it on Audible. I couldn't just sit there and like listen to the whole thing
It was a
because
slog. You had to slow down and like read it a couple times.
well, you had to. Well,
No.
it was more for
It
me. It
has
was
moment.
like my mind would go, and I'd start daydreaming about different stuff constantly. My mind was just going off with everything that they were talking about, and it's like, huh, that's a cool thought. That's a cool thing. Like, you know, as opposed to trying to just get through it. I know we're trying to get through books to like get to this point and we can talk about them, but
not really. There's no time limit.
it's been a while, but this book in particular like really had me daydreaming about senses and like trying to understand why certain things do or are what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think a lot of it, like I said, like we have a lot of similarities that's been so far removed from so much time, but that there are so many things that parallel us and how we kind of, I mean, from the sight thing, right? Just the seeing of colors. Like not everyone sees the same color. Like what is one color to you can be a little bit slightly different to me, you know?
Yeah.
And if we,
That gets into like quantum physics of like how the world is.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I
perception.
liked about this book. And just to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, what if our senses are actually just programs that our computer is running? Mm-hmm. So like a solid table, like this one that we're all sitting at right here, isn't really solid. At the atomic level, it's mostly empty space, which is full of energy.
still moving.
well, it's still moving, but there's no mass. It's an energy field, and that's really truly what an atom is. It's an energy field.
But even those atoms throughout the construction are moving.
Right? But so
Well,
now
that's
throughout
hang on,
it.
hang on.
The faster they
you
move,
burn
Slow down, Mike.
I'm sorry.
the faster they move, the harder the surface.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But what if the interaction that we have with different substances is more a computer type, or not even a computer type, but a program that's been entered into consciousness that says interact with this substance as this sense? You know what I mean? So it's not so much that you are just passively feeling a surface or seeing a light wave. It's more that the input from your programming is affecting how you interact with the energy field of that substance, molecule, whatever you have.
Well, then that would be like chemistry, right?
Well, it's
Like
a little
you
bit
have
of-
an equation written out for
Well,
whatever.
no. It's a little of quantum physics where observation creates the reality. So it's our observation of whatever this is that makes it be so.
But it's different if all three of us watched a table be made, right? But it's not one person's observation, it's multiple. So there's
Well,
uniform things
yeah,
that
that's-
seem
that's
to be written in the fabric. It
Yes.
can be a simulation,
having
but
the
there
table
are
made,
rules.
Even if only one person makes the table and nobody else witnesses it, he still, or that person still enters it into the higher consciousness.
Yeah,
so that from then on,
formula.
everybody, and that creates the energy field somehow that is the molecule of wood.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then from then on, everybody else's programming identifies that as a solid surface. So you experience it as a solid surface, even though it's not. We're getting deep into the woo rabbit holes here.
Yeah, but I think it's also solid. Even though there's empty space, there's so much. I don't know. Maybe not. Sorry, I got a different
It
thought.
should at
I
least
haven't-
feel like Jello or something.
Well,
right?
there's less empty space,
But there's
here
electromagnetic.
in this part of where I'm moving my arm all around than here,
But what we're talking about is energy and force and bonds.
that's what I was saying. That, but at the lowest level, the hardest things have those atoms are moving at a very, very rapid rate, constantly, and that's what makes things hard. It's not this over here. The atoms,
hang on.
are there atoms here?
Yes, there are.
There's
They're-
atoms
they're
here.
moving fast. But hang
They're
on,
moving fast, but not nearly as hard as this hard table,
I disagree. I think that
and they're not as tight.
tables moving
the
slow.
den-
This
the
is this
density-
is a rave
yeah,
of atoms.
yes.
The
Density matters, but even at
density is matter.
even at extreme density,
Yeah,
it's still mostly empty space because an atom itself is like
tiny.
It's empty space, but it's
90% empty space, but it's an
but it's
energy
the
field.
bonds holding it together
Right.
so
It's
strong.
it's that energy field.
You can't
Yes.
push.
So what
through
I'm
it.
saying is that what if it's because we're talking about different senses of different animals?
Yeah.
What if what our senses really are is a program that says interact with substance A as answer B?
I don't think it's interact. I think it's you don't have the antenna. That's what the problem is you need either the
sense.
eyeballs of it, the ears of it, the vibration sensor of it. You can swim all your life, but you're never going to sense the way a shark can because it has the proper antennas built through its body.
Yeah, we're talking about two different things.
No, but you're talking about interacting with the program, right? The way
I'm just saying, what if your senses are part of the like quantum equation that creates reality?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But our antennas are better. Different antennas are better. Our brain antenna is a better way to comprehend this quantum entanglement of reality. But an owl's antenna of sound in the way it's constructed through billions of years, survival and eating, that ears are its antenna, right? And that's existence. It creates it to live better. Our brain is our antenna to live better. That whale's antenna is a big brain, a big body, and through its environment, it lives better. I think, like I said, this all applies to us because this is how, and this
Well,
is
it's a book written for us about everything that we interact with.
no,
so-
but this is where I start to get a problem with it at the end is I feel the author kind of is like, people are assholes, right? And around chapter 13, 12, around the eels in the electromagnetic and talking about how we start to fuck with things. And it's like, you have cell phones, you have internet, you're sending signals out and you're fucking up the system. We're probably fucking up the bees. But it's like, we are animals too.
Yeah.
We are part of this. Our antenna of our brain that separated us is interesting.
It's funny when people say that we're separated, because we never got separated.
Not yet.
We are so
Biologically, we're still there.
yeah, but that's what the human way is, to make things
Division.
easier.
Yeah.
Division. Well, I mean, everything's way is
But-
division, right?
Yeah.
Survival.
Get you-
I want to procreate and make another one of me, right? That's everybody's, like, at the core level, that's what people do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And whether or
Expend
not
minimal energy,
whether
and
or
try to
not
procreate.
yeah, and that's all anything that's living right now is doing. You know, I don't care what anybody says. You're trying to have sex. You might want a kid, but you are wanting to have
The urge.
the urge to.
Do you guys
and
want
it's
to pause
there.
this show for a minute?
Want another
but that's-
flaming Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, one more coming right up. But that's the thing, is like every that's how we're tied to everything. In the trees do the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, and they might not get the same sense of enjoyment out of it, but every year those pine trees are dropping pine cones.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make more of us, more of us. So we're just so good at it, and we're good at manipulating the things around us to create.
Yes.
And that's what separates. Really, we're not separated at all. Motherfuckers trying to act like it. We're not. We are animals. So this guy being up our ass about having cell service that is fucking up everything. It's like, yeah, it is, but
a penguin's never going to go to the moon.
Yeah.
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Yeah.
So,
But it's like,
it's
I
our
think
journey.
that's an important thing to take in that perspective, because it is like, dude, there has to be harmony. I love going hunting. I love in the woods. I love when I can go to a different town and it's very beautiful and there's a lot of nature and it seems well built. It's not a stack of skyscrapers or something. So how do we live better in this world?
I do think there's certain things that we're screwing up that we could do less of.
Yes.
But I also think that, like, we're going about it the wrong way on, like, a government level. And I understand nobody wants to see destruction of animals or land that's just, nobody goes, I am
Let's
super
go trash the forest.
Yeah, I'm super
Yeah.
stoked about fucking the Amazon being completely fucked. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about it. It really gets me going.
Yeah.
That's not people's natural reaction. And when they are, they're just fucking damaged people trying to get reaction out of other people because they know it matters. Right.
Yeah.
But with this, it kind of like it's fun to think about how you would interact if you didn't need that cell phone. Like how you would interact with the world if you naturally knew it was time to go, and we all just kind of got up one day and we didn't have to talk about it. We knew we were all driving, east to go hunting. We're going to the hunting grounds, and we don't know why, but we're just doing it.
You know what's interesting is our next book is going to get into that.
Oh, fucking A. Our next book. A little teaser.
Little teaser there.
Teaser. And that's called, what was that one
The
called?
Divine Matrix.
The Divine Matrix. Anywho.
Enough of that bullshit. Back to my point.
Yeah.
Go
Well,
for it.
I mean, I thought this book was cool because of that. And I thought it was fun to think about, like, everybody always goes, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? And then you always had that one pervy kid in the back, X-ray vision, like
Night vision, guys.
it'd be pretty sweet.
He should have gone bat vision. He could have echolocated boobs in 8th grade. Yeah. I'm my God, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Stacy.
one thing I did find interesting in the book a lot was, I mean, it's all through animals and they're trying to say, hey, where are you? Where am I? You know, there's a lot of location things, you know, just where people in the group are looking for prey and stuff. But I did find the smell one interesting with the elephants and how they would locate through, like they would, when a herd would come back, they would do all kinds, they'd sniff everything, but they would smell urine, right? And they could tell if the herd was out of order.
Yeah, if it was,
and I thought that part was really interesting about they could smell like
the
things
stress.
out of proximity. Like, and if someone's out of order, it would cause them to like, hey, we're stopping and we're regrouping or we're going to run and something's happening. But I thought that was a really interesting chapter about
dogs do the same thing.
Really?
I think so. I'm making vast assumptions.
yeah, go
but
for
I
it.
mean, you think about like when you see a dog pee on a cone or on anything, a fence, everything about that is saying something to another dog.
Yeah, it's a chemical signal.
It's a chemical signal, but then the height at which they're smelling.
Oh, yeah.
So there's physical markers as well, along with the strength of it, the so they know when, they know where, they know how, they know.
How do I make strong piss?
Huh? How do you make
drink a lot of coffee.
And I'm going to go
No water.
Yeah, I'm going to go start peeing
Eat some
on
grass.
Peeing on the mats before practice.
Market. How long before your membership's been canceled?
It's not on the mats. It's on the wall, and
On
it's
the
how
wall.
high
Oh,
on the
okay,
wall
okay,
you can go.
okay, yeah.
That's where you're really
Craig's like, what the fuck happened to
truly
my
dominant.
ceiling? Someone had to get a scissor lift.
Yeah. He's taking a water bottle and splashing. This fucking cheater. Nobody could piss that high.
But yeah, the smell thing, but it was interesting because they could tell, because, I mean, dogs are pack animals, but those elephants have decent sized herds and they travel a good distance.
They're more akin to a human. I think humans relate to the elephants more because they are family units.
Yeah.
And I think they look at that and people go, oh, like they all. Oh.
Hang on, careful there, Turbo. Oh, I thought he was going in.
Going for a flaming Dr. Pepper?
Going for a flaming tuna.
I think there's that. What do they call that when you relate to animals on a calendar level?
Bestiality.
Yeah, pretty much. Where people
You can give
megafauna. What do they call that? Steve Ranella coined the term, I think.
Charismatic megafauna.
Charismatic megafauna.
But when you give what is it when you give things human characteristics, you anthropomorphize things.
Yeah,
and I
that's-
feel
that's
there's
what I
a
was gonna
lot
say.
of animals like
we do that to everything.
yeah. That's why teddy bears are teddy bears. That whole
Yeah, Tobin's over here talking about the table having feelings and stuff earlier. He's like, it's so strong. And I was like, I get it. It's got feelings too. I'm an ass and a dummy at the same time. Yeah, I think I enjoyed that aspect of this. Oh, sorry, there was a moth and
he just blew a kiss at you, Podcast America. Yeah, very aggressive. No, the book's interesting. I mean, it's stuff I've all kind of things I've known, but like he does very good job of giving you interesting facts about animals, but then really proving it through like a quick bit of information about the research. Not a quick, but like he lays out.
Not a quick.
Yeah, kind of.
I do feel like there's a
Wait till
little
my
bit
next
of a
book
little bit of a
report.
jump in there. Like, and I also think that there's a bunch of stuff that they're missing completely that we just don't even.
Yeah, because we don't have the senses to comprehend it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was going originally, is that we don't know what we don't know because we have no
sixth sense.
no antenna or decoder for it. So think about like dark energy in the universe. We accept that a huge portion of the universe is made of dark energy, but we just assume that there's nothing there because we have no way of experiencing it.
Yeah. Or the detectors.
But there might be a whole lot there.
I'm sure.
We just aren't able to experience it.
There has to be.
Yeah.
There is. But it's like, yeah, what it is things just have different antennas. But it's interesting that it's pretty much the normal senses. You're sensing light, you're sensing smell, you're sensing vibration, which is hearing, or feeling, touch, and that's vibration. So you can have hearing.
Mechanical, chemical, or electrical.
But light waves are vibration to some things, I'm sure. What?
Yeah.
How wild is that shit?
Because it's also heat and it move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some things probably feel color as actual tactile feeling.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
right.
So they're sensing things with what we see. They are feeling, and they feel the vibration of it. They feel the heat of a color, as opposed to,
Yeah.
And that's the kind of shit that they.
But that's what I mean. It's like that is all of us, like we're animals, right? And we tune into this world to live better, just like the cow has the ability to tune in better, or the otter through his touch. And oh my God, that otter one, what was it? 1 square centimeter of otter hair is as dense as a whole human head.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's like, and that's why they're waterproof. I want otter raincoat right now. That sounds awesome. Never get wet.
Yeah. I want a full head of hair like an otter.
Yeah. I want a beard like an otter. Yes. But we all have these senses to kind of tune into the environment around us. And I feel like you're saying earlier, there's a code written in the world. There's existence, there's reality. And it's interesting that no matter how removed we are, all we do are these things of receiving input and how we do our best for survival. Everything in this book is this animal sees the world in this way, or feels it, or I never knew catfish taste through their skin.
Isn't that wild?
Dude, what do you say? The catfish jump in a vat of chocolate syrup. It's like, dude, if you tasted with your body, I jump into barbecue sauce, chocolate sauce,
all over the place.
Picture Naked Mike rolling around in a pool full of chocolate.
No, catfish, Mike. Yeah, tasting the world.
I wouldn't do jiu-jitsu.
But
I'd quit jiu-jitsu.
never again. Oh
My God.
But that's all we're doing is we're reading the code through our senses. And everyone is using, whether it's human or animal, you're just using your senses to the best ability.
Well, and this kind of like...
But they never talk about brain. They never talk about brain. I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you have all these antennas, but what is the processor and the memory of it?
Well, and that's where, there's a lot of research left to be done. There's a lot of shit to discover still, So maybe that's where they're working on that kind of stuff. And like, because I think, what was it? I can't remember the animal, but like the eyes, the amount of eyes it had, and like, or maybe it was the rod and cones in the eyes, and it had like eight sets or something like
the
that.
chromographs, and but that's when you start to see ultraviolets and when you can see different things.
But then there was other things that like they were like, it doesn't have the brain to process,
to register what it
so
sees.
Why does it have it?
Probably. Well, that's where I like this kind of stuff, because that goes back to evolution and what things were originally from. Like, if we came from...
It's that way because God made it that way, Kozak.
Yeah. God made it that way through hard times, and it changed. Just the way you go to that gym and you work through hard times, your body's going to change.
Say hard again.
Slower.
Hard Body Boys from Pello. One of my favorites.
1,000 yards there.
I like the lisp. Very good. It's like Cindy Brady over there serenading me. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun book to kind of jump into and just daydream about, that night vision.
But it's interesting that
vision and sonar.
the eyes I can relate because that's something I've had. In the eyes one, it's like the eye hasn't really changed
But
a lot.
you and this is what I think. I think that I see this red, and red to me is this fucking color that is the same as my shit here. It's the same as fire. It's the same as there's many different things. I see red as red, but red to me, like my red is your blue. So if you and I switched places and you saw through the way I see, everything would look all fucking different. Everything would look all fucked up. Yeah. And I truly think that that's kind of what happens with the world. And it starts there with just the basic shit like that to where like...
Well, so I'm red and green colorblind. So it's almost certain that if you and I could switch eyes, you would see everything completely differently.
Yeah.
But I can still tell you that this is red and that it's very different from green. And I know what green looks like to me, but it almost certainly looks different to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have perfect eyes, so mine are
allegedly.
I could stare into them all night.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Tobin's
hazel
allegedly.
green.
Yeah. No. I had to lie, cheat, and steal my way into the Army, which is fucking insane if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good.
And the apprenticeship.
Dude, you're pretty smart if you can cheat your way through a color test.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I've beat lie detector tests.
The ultimate red hair.
Do we need to edit any of this out?
No. Nope.
Well, I
Tobin
I
killed
do think
Saddam. He's the one that hung him.
Cat's out of the bag.
He put on
Cat's
one
out
of those
the bag.
1600 head mask, executioner mask.
Guy Fawkes or whatever.
Yeah.
Threw the handle on the trapdoor.
Oh, my God.
Watched him swing.
The thought of like, what sense would you want to pick up from if you can after reading this or anything
I'm
like
going
that?
infrared like a snake. I want that thermal vision.
You and Predator.
But I'm still calling it thermal, right? Because we try to make it a vision or a visual experience to describe it.
Yeah.
Because we have no way to describe it as truly a thermal receptor.
We can describe it. Close your eyes.
Yeah, but what is...
It's warm,
but
soft,
but think of
but
it.
firm.
But vision is just how you perceive. Bats, they...
Easy now.
Close your eyes.
We're starting a fire here real quick.
Like that right there. You can feel.
Oh yeah, you can.
So you have a sense.
So you have a sense for that, but theirs is so sharp.
It's like
that
6
they
feet
could-
out or whatever.
Yeah, they could feel
All right.
with their eyes, right?
Yeah, just the same way.
But they can feel.
Is it their eyes or they have separate pits for?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's creating a mapping in your brain. Whether it's your eyes, it's giving you.
But think we visualize everything in terms of a visual experience.
But
So
bats,
a different animal will not. They won't visualize. They will create reality based on whichever sense is sort of their primary sense.
But
Which
that's
is wild,
vision
but,
to them.
Think about if we thought of the entire world in terms of sound echoes.
Yeah, that's vision to them. Yeah, exactly.
But
so
it wouldn't be visual. We try to visualize. We to go okay. So there would be
but
like
in there, what is
curves to the wave, and we try to visualize it.
But what
we're
is-
literally not capable of trying to even. I don't even think we're capable of imagining how
you
a
are.
bat experiences the world.
Yeah, you are. Just the way if you're a bat, you don't run into that door, right? The same way you're a person, you don't run into that door. All you're doing, this is where I was like, they don't mention the brain.
Yeah.
All
I see
these
what you're saying.
antennas
The
are
brain
awesome.
is just
This is what reality is what you perceive. That's what vision is. Vision can be sound. Vision can be sight. If your vision is so good through echolocation that you can tell the difference of where a door opening or a door closure or another animal is, and you can kill something because of that, it's setting up in your brain. You don't just go like click, click, and it's like go left, and you're like left. You know, you're setting up
creating a map.
It is there. It's
there.
Like, but that's what I was doing. I just rubbed my hands together real hard, and I put it in front of Tobin's closed eyes, and he could feel my hand. He could smell the beef on me. But that is a sense. Imagine if
I
you
think
were
he's been
so
grappling with Daniel.
That's a lot of beef.
if you had such acute receptors that could feel that heat from 6 feet away across this table, my hand if you could close your hand or close your eyes and feel my hand, the heat off my hand, like I think that's what they're feeling. But they're doing it so well that they can kind of go, okay, that's a glob of human. But then as it gets closer, I think they could distinguish individual fingers.
Well, what was it? The pit viper or the rattlesnake?
It's just a more refined,
Yeah.
higher, again, visual, higher pixels.
But think of this. What was it, the pit viper or was it the diamondback rattlesnake? I forget which one kind of snake it was in that. But not only does it have eyes to see, but that's where the sense of the heat comes in is through the nostrils, the pits in the...
Well, I think pit vipers are called pit vipers specifically because they have the pits.
Yeah,
which are
yeah.
They're
They're
infrared
heat sensors, right? So not only do you have eyes and those heat registers, so you're like, but you can't see. What is vision? Imagine overlapping eyesight with thermals on top of it.
Yeah.
They would say you don't have vision. You can't see properly.
Yeah.
Vision is just perceiving and understanding better. Some things have better antennas set up together to work together.
Yeah. Well, I think are enamored with the sight, like you've been saying. But when things get outside of our spectrum of, if we lose all spectrum of light, it's amazing. Like they're talking about the deep sea fish that can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when we lose light altogether, we want another sense to compensate, but the visual, because we see so. Our vision is what we're using.
We're primary visual, secondary audio.
So, but that's the. I think that's what drives a lot of creation of these like different, night vision or the thermal or echo, all that kind of stuff. I think it's driven by the most primary loss, and that's night.
Well, that's evolution, though, right? If you're an animal and a predator moves into your territory,
it's danger.
And for thousands of years it's attacking and killing you,
it's fear.
Who are the ones that are going to survive? The ones that somehow genetically change. How it takes pressure to change fish being surface level fish, but now there's a new predator or the environment change. It gets colder. Salinity in the water changes. Something happens. So it drives you down to a different level. And then it drives you down over thousands, millions, billions of years. Evolutionarily, that's what drives change is pressure. And so all of this, we came from one time. There's a couple animals. That's why it's interesting. The Cambrian explosion is when all of this happened, when you saw just life went from nothing to everything, and everything took off. And that's why these senses are interesting. They're all how we the only things reality can give us: heat, light, vibration, color, through light, which is a form of vibration, electromagnetism. All these things are what happened when the Earth was at 4 billion years old, right? And the Cambrian, it was 500.
Are you sure that's accurate?
Cambrian explosion was 500 million years ago. We are 5.6?
Yes.
So 500 to...
I don't know.
But there was the boring
give or
billions
take,
beforehand.
Give or take.
Yeah, but
Pretty close.
You had more venting in the seas, and you have different things happen through after the boring billions of Earth's creation. But this point of when life really set off during that time, it created so many unique things that have different abilities due to forced pressure. Pressure of everything is unique, and that's what creates all of these different radars. So it's like, could you take a person and over 1 million years subject them to 1 billion years? What if you subjected a human to something? What could you turn this person into? Could you turn them into the bat if you made them only and close their eyes.
Well, if you just took away the light, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, of course you could. Watch the movie The Cave.
You've seen Batman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty basic stuff.
yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
But
A bunch of miners go down into a cave. Mine collapses. They have to survive.
this book
Sonar.
Their children that they have down there, their children's children, yeah, they can see just fine down there.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, shit, let's take a quick break then.
Let's take a pee break here.
Classic Jordan forgetting shit.
Don't do that.
Where'd we leave off, Mike?
Well, hey, let him pour his fucking champagne.
Champagne.
Hey, Happy New Year's
Happy New
podcast,
Year's, boys.
America.
Yeah. How's that Prosecco treating you, brother?
Bubbly.
Bubbly.
It's not bad. There's a glass there if you'd like it.
Oh, I'm gonna have some. It's Kirkland. It's classy. I'm getting in on
Costco.
that.
There we go.
All right, so we're kind of talking in the kitchen why I didn't like this book by Mike Kozak. No, I didn't mean it like that. But there's a reason I kind of didn't like the book in certain ways. It's
Long.
everything. No, beautiful. This is right. Wait till you read my next book. You guys are going to.
no.
You thought
Fuck
the
you.
time book sucked.
Like, Jesus fuck.
Sorry.
We're going to read a comic book for my next one.
Archie. Yeah. But the reason I did not necessarily like it, like when we were talking earlier, I kept mentioning the brain, right? And this book is all about the antennas through which things comprehend, see, analyze life. And I think the brain is a very unique thing that sets human beings different. I see yawns instantly. The brain is different that sets all of us off, like I was saying, the computer. So I kind of feel towards the end of it a little bit as we're getting towards the analysis. It was in the electric chapter where they talked about electric eels the magnetism. They kind of started to talk about animals and the extinctions have happened all throughout our history. We are on... What are we on? Are we on the 5th or the 6th extinction? We've had 5 mega extinctions. And extinction level events have to be classified as over 75% of death on land and in the water. That is called an extinction event. So to say the idea that we've had 5 of these in the past is kind of crazy.
That
It's
we
like,
have a record of.
yes, through fossils, through sediment, core sample.
So you think 25% of the stuff could live? And
That's what the
it's
dinosaurs.
not necessarily an extinction. Or at that point, it would be an extinction.
There's extinctions happening all the time, and we're having extinctions like we're kind of talking earlier. There should be a more harmonious way for humans in the world and nature to exist, but a true extinction event is 75% of everything just goes down the drain. And that's what's that? That's asteroid. That's a crazy solar flare. That's a dramatic shift maybe in your poles due to your magnetic core shifting. I mean, I don't know. No one knows what caused it. But we know there's just been giant extinction events. This is just part of history.
It's funny, like all the thinking people put into this kind of shit, and they're really no further than anybody sitting at this fucking table. You know what I mean?
It's almost like academia has slid into dogma.
No, it takes time for a lot of this. I mean, yes, a lot of it is dogma, but a lot of it takes time and like understanding around the world. If we talk about,
but I mean, we live in terms of the world and everything around us. Our life is gone. Like it's less than a flash. It's less than a flash. Yeah. It's not a blimp on anything in like the terms of the fucking world.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're going to sit here and act like we have any fucking clue how old the world is
ridiculous.
mind-boggling.
See, but we don't have
It's
us
science.
individual.
Trust the science.
But
that's-
it's
such
cocky
fucking bullshit.
and it's absolute dog shit.
But see, this is where I have to go. You have to go. There's individual based, like I was talking last time, individual power and collective power. That's what a little bit of education, knowledge, the collective. There's collective power. So if you can get sediment samples from hundreds, like if from the 1900s to now, in the 2000s,
I understand a lot of people have
right?
done a lot of research to get a lot of
Yes.
data
And-
to try and to understand more and more. And
it's
I know
all
we're doing
happened
it.
since like the 1700s, where we are now.
And I understand that, but guess what? That's a blink.
Yeah,
It's a blink in the fucking terms.
But
of the
it's
world.
not a-
So it's still there's still so much
but it's
that is left
yes.
to be unturned. So people are like, we're so advanced, and it's like we're not advanced at all.
No, not
we
at
have
all.
we have no fucking true recognition of what this world is and how it is, how things have been created or how they've evolved, like what really is happening, that the seven senses that some fucking weird animal has, that those extra two, we're not there.
We
don't understand
yes,
it. They're
but
fucking.
This is my problem. You're not giving enough to humans, who we are, people.
Well,
as much as it is in a blink,
I am. That's
there
where
is
the
no
comic book thing. We talk about shit like that, where people have like telekinesis and fucking weird shit, where they can like they can just sense something's coming. I think there's fucking animals that have that.
Yeah,
And
probably.
that's I mean, we're talking about the birds getting all fucking shifty before they go on a big flight.
Yeah.
Like
I think we have that.
I think we do.
We've just tuned
Yeah,
it
you don't
out.
flex that muscle.
Everybody, well, I mean, the horse girl, she always does.
Horse.
Yeah, the
Seen them claw?
horse
Tell me
girl-
about your high school
horse girl,
love, dude. Yeah, tell me more, Jordan.
She can sense. She sensed things that were coming on, and she just knew. She's like,
alfalfa. What are that? Oats?
and she just fucking knew some weird shit was about to go on, and all of a sudden the fire alarm goes off. She gets a little uneasy.
Starts pawing at the
Okay.
ground.
Hang on. Seriously.
Horse girl.
Serious.
Serious.
Talking about all this stuff, they are antennas, right? And we have antennas in our body, right? To sight, sound, all this stuff. And I think maybe we do still have some antennas that we don't use. Growing up, I never hunted. I fished, I crabbed, I clammed. I like to get I didn't say clam hammer. Even though that's what I named my clamming gun.
I hammered clams though.
Good one. But I never pursued animals and tried to kill them, right?
What were you doing to them then?
Yeah.
I would buy beef from the store.
I mean, after you pursued them, what did you do?
Once you caught up to them,
Yeah.
he means
We're not
cruising altitude.
These aren't what are sea cows, all right? These aren't my sea cows.
Yeah.
But hunting, I never did that. I always enjoyed fishing. There was something about fishing and crabbing and getting it and clamming, and it was there was something that was just so rewarding. I mean, Jesus Christ, go catch a fish in a river and eat it. There's something much nicer than someone bringing you a plate of fish at a very nice restaurant that's prepared well. There's something about the acquisition of it, and there's a
Start to finish.
communication of it, right? The first time I went hunting for a large animal, I went hunting for deer, which I didn't have a deer. A fucking grouse scared the shit out of me, and I saw tunnel vision, and I knew what true fear was because I walked right up to it before it flew. Then I learned what grouse were, and you can step on them.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. But I went elk hunting in my first year. I was so fucking lucky. My first year, I got up to 2 bulls and a cow within 5 feet. And this cow had an ear tag in its ear with its number. It had been tagged by Fish and Game, and I could read the numbers. 314.
Did you kill any of them?
No, because it's spike only.
Oh, okay.
But my first year, I just got put into a heavy elk area. And it was like my first day was crazy. And then my second day, I went out on my own, right? And I'm solo hunting and walking. I set my GPS where camp was. And then I started solo walking out into an area I've never been before. In the sense of I started hearing things, smelling things, seeing things, but the way I felt, I could feel the elk around me. It was like, dude, you can go to your left, you can go forward, you can go to your right, but you feel something in you. It was like when you hear a crazy song, all of a sudden you vibe with, or an old song and the hair stands up on the back of your neck. It was like there was a sense I had never used before that all of a sudden trying to pursue and kill something, it sent something off in my senses that I've never used before. So from that day, I've never stopped trying to large game hunt because it sends off a receptor that I never touched until I did it. Not only do certain animals have more highly evolved senses, I think we all kind of have stuff that's hindered. It's suppressed. It's not being
I
used.
think that's, you look at a dog, right? You look at like a house dog, and the same thing happens to a house dog where you bring it inside. You allow it to not have to forage and hunt or do all its different shit, and you end up with a fucking pug.
I was just going to say,
you know what I mean?
It turns
Like,
into a chihuahua eventually.
and obviously through breeding and trying to get things down to what they are, but like there are dogs that cannot give birth on their own. There has to be a human interaction for that dog to give birth. A French bulldog, they'll die. If they get pregnant, they'll die.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's there helping them along, supposedly, right? I'm not a French bulldog breeder.
You haven't pulled one out?
I haven't slit one open, but it's all C-section apparently. Like, it's because they can't. Their heads are fucking
deliver.
Massive. Yeah, they're just these little fucked up things. But I mean, that's what ends up happening, right? So, at some point, yes, I think humans are fucking up the whole
natural
order of things.
Yeah.
So I do agree. There's the 5G. There's the fucking the cell towers. There's all these different things that we're doing that is we're getting into.
We're creating phenomena in the environment
to try and take order or like pursue things. So I think there's a certain bit that we need to fucking step back and go, okay, why are we doing this? What is and I think that is where the true fucking issues lie, is not in a gasoline engine.
Yeah,
it's not like, like we're gonna destroy the environment that way. That's not what it's
why
about.
we are doing this is
I think it comes on a magnetic level. I think where we're fucking up as a human, I think we're putting frequencies into the fucking environment that are EMR, and that is so unnatural that is the true fucking issue, and nobody wants to talk about it because we can't sense it.
Well, and because we're also addicted to this flow of information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that is our, you turn the lights off and we can see. That is what we're getting. We're getting that through these different fucking things. But I truly think like everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket right now. Mm-hmm. And that is putting some crazy shit. We don't even have a clue what it's doing. But what is it doing to the animal that...
Well, what's it doing to us? We don't even know what it's doing to us.
Yeah, but what's it doing to the bees?
Yeah,
what's it doing to the fucking birds? What's it doing to all the
Turtles
things that
and all this
truly
shit.
have to fucking rely on the light? And
EMR.
we're fucking, and what we're doing is flicking the lights off for a ton of different animals. And I think that's fucking
or
up.
not necessarily flick them off. We're like creating a strobe light effect where they're like, holy shit, what is going on?
You know what I'm saying? We're
migratory birds on 9/11.
It's almost worse than shutting the lights off. It's you're creating a mass amount of confusion,
chaos, all of it. And I think we're doing
devil's advocate.
And I think we're doing it. And I think that's why in my heart and soul, my sixth sense is going, hey, guess what, dude? Do less.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's a good... What you're having is a response. We are not
That's my sixth
We are
sense.
not creating
my
5
superpower.
Yeah, but we're not creating 5G saying it's going to kill the
Are you
bees.
speaking against his truth?
Yes, 100%. That's
Oh
my job
God.
here.
Oh my God.
Mike Zedong,
Let's count.
where's
I am
my
being attacked.
where's my hat and my lighter? Where's my suit? Yeah. Where's my zip up coverall suit for communism? Come on now.
Jumpers.
No. Human beings are not creating 5G due to killing the birds and fucking up the bees. It is a byproduct that stuff happens.
I understand that. I don't think
Yeah.
we're out to fucking create.
Intentionally.
Of course. So
understand that.
It's an
this is
unintentional
our
consequence.
this is our
But
echo
I'm
radar.
going back to the senses that we don't sense what is actually
So we don't
going to be the
understand that we're putting
byproduct
interference
of.
out on these
Yeah. Okay.
Nor-
these sensory pathways that we don't experience. So we're fucking up other creatures' experience
Yeah.
because we're sort
Okay,
of self-centered.
Cool. How about this? How about less humans die probably of starvation than squirrels? Why? Because your brains are big enough to create mass farming, to create community,
Are you
to
sure
create
about that?
grocery stores.
All I heard was blah blah blah. I hate black people.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think squirrels die of starvation often.
Oh, in winter?
I don't think they do.
I don't either.
Of course.
And
Winter
I think,
disease?
and guess what? And I think,
I think
when,
they're experts.
And I think
Oh,
when they do die,
if a
it's
squirrel
because
gets
of
injured,
deforestation,
does
and that's the man fucking pinning the squirrel down, dude.
Yeah.
The man's pinning the squirrel down.
Are you
You're out of
pro or
control.
anti-squirrel, bro?
I'm pro squirrel pie.
Oh,
Squirrel and dumpling soup. Yeah, which I'm gonna try one. of
I've
these
heard you
days.
say that a million
I can't
times.
wait.
when we go down. When we go down to Oregon in September to pop some squirrels, and Jordan can make, not in my pan, but you can try cooking them.
Hang on, because this is what this book kind of leads into, and I think this is interesting.
This is what makes you mad about the book.
Yes, I want to go to it
Okay, let's
because
get
humans, the ability.
Just
Could a dolphin write this book?
Mike,
If
no-
we-
no, know more about black people.
there. If we made
All right,
a pencil that a dolphin could hold.
I won't say that. That was bad.
If we could do that, then maybe
What? Pencil
maybe
boat?
if we made an apparatus that fucking
Salmon
that,
can come up onto the beach.
yeah
No.
yeah
Humans are the best. We're the best.
you know
We're the
it's not
best
out of kelp.
That we know of.
We're the best and we're the worst at the same time. There's no
Anything with it's like Spider-Man said. Uncle Ben, he goes,
great responsibility.
yes, and
Yeah,
with
comes
great
great
power.
power.
With great power comes great responsibility, and we are fucking that up in a big way.
are welcome.
Now, humans are number one. I have to play devil's advocate
of
all
course
the
we're
time
number
because
one.
I'm pro people. Yes, people can get swayed. Things can happen that fuck up the environment. It's kind of a byproduct. The ability that we can write this book and to understand these things. The fact that this stuff isn't mentioned all the time in school. Like these are things I've read throughout time.
I got a question for you, Mike. And this is I'm putting a halt to this for a second. Pro people. If somebody broke into this house right now, what would you do?
Probably fuck them up.
We're racing to see who gets to fuck them up, right?
Absolutely.
You
But-
want me to
so-
release
so-
my little dog or my big dog?
So I mean, but okay, somebody breaks into your house in the middle of the night and they have a knife. What are you doing?
Yeah, doesn't mean
little dog.
okay. You're in the ocean surfing. You get bit by a shark. You kill it. Are you pro shark or con shark?
Con shark, because sharks
That
don't
shark.
really get
Overall, sharks good or bad?
Okay.
Probably good for the
Overall good.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Sharks
Now-
just doing
now-
shark shit.
right?
Sharks-
People
Hang on,
doing
do we call
people
that
shit.
crackheads
But
doing
do you-
crackhead shit?
but do you-
But then we gun them down, and then do we feel bad about that?
People doing people shit is starting to affect things, and as human, we are understanding. Hey, you know what? We're putting out frequencies that are fucking up the ecosystem. So I think that at some point it is important for people to go, hey, we're doing this on a different fucking level. We're doing this on such an it is natural for me to go kill a fucking animal and eat it. That's natural. That is as natural as it fucking gets. It is unnatural for me to create a fucking cell tower that puts off a frequency because I'm trying to have some umwelt of another fucking creature. That is relatively unnatural. And I understand like the argument for humans are putting effort into creating
Innovative.
being innovative and creating different things, and that is natural for us, and I understand that. But at some point, where's the other side of the fucking coin, and why can't we see it, or why aren't we willing to see it? Because I think people are greedy, which is what drives that to the point of we are putting out crazy levels of radiation into fucking things that don't need it. We are destroying shit at a rapid rate because of greed.
Don't disagree.
And I think that at that point, like, I understand where this guy's coming from with the fucking that thought process, but I also think that that's happening at a level far above us interacting as hunters or as humans with the fucking world. So at some point you got to go, how much of this do we need? And I don't think we should be fucking up sea turtles with all the fucking plastic.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be fucking up whales with all the oil. I don't think, all the different things that we're doing, I understand we need to innovate and we need to fucking live. And at some point, it's all to get off this planet because it's going to be so fucked up. We're going to have to leave. And like, that's where we're going.
If you're a true human,
I think if you're a true human, you're going to fucking go, alls I need is a fucking sharp knife. And I can live with the fucking world. Give me a tool. Humans are unique in the fact that they use tools. So do chimps. So do, other
birds, rats.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of, right? But that is a natural fucking thing.
Yeah.
But it's natural to hold this fucking matter that Tobin talks about being harder and stuff because it's an actual fucking thing. You can hold this and go, okay, I'm gonna create something as a trap for a single animal so I can fucking survive on this one particular thing. But as humans, I think we're fucking as a whole, we are starting to do crazy like crop production. We're putting chemicals on things that aren't natural, and that's just not natural. And when things go from being like a natural resource to having, and we almost need to come up with a law to go, hey, when you have to refine things through 5 different processes to get this one particular thing,
You can no longer call it olive oil.
yes, we gotta call fucking a halt to certain.
It's a
things.
product.
Yes, and at that point, it's like, and that isolated fucking thing that we have now can kill you, and it's not good for you. So why is it that we don't do that? Why is it that like
make someone money?
Because it makes somebody fucking money, right? And it's not us. It's not us. It's not good for the overall
Well, the
population.
consumer
It's good
is never
for the
making
one.
the money.
But you know what? I think this all goes back to
The fucking man.
no, it doesn't.
Trump
go back,
2024.
we all need to get back to doing things the real way, right? Like,
Yes.
Like so, what we did New Year's Eve. So, Mike, you were
I know.
AWOL, but Jordan and I and Tyler.
I was lighting fireworks off into my living room. Fuck you guys. I live more savage.
It's the greatest video ever. There's a video of Mike on his porch after a flaming Dr. Pepper or two.
Oh no!
And he
I
lights
didn't
a
see this.
bottle rocket off, and it fucking goes. It goes
They were bumblebees. Two bumblebees.
Yeah, it's not, either way. He lights this fucking firework off, and it goes, and one fucking takes off and goes right into the sliding glass door, into the house.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
That was a great video. But anyway, so New Year's.
Jordan and Tyler and I. Originally, our plan was to cook a lamb, get a whole lamb from the butcher, and cook it over an open fire while we had a little ceremony. And what was it, on the 30th, Jordan texted me, and he's like, dude, they don't have any lambs. And we were like, oh, shit. Like, try to get some leg quarters, whatever you can. And he texted me a picture of a live sheep in the back of his truck. He's like, we're set.
Boy, that's my spirit animal right
exactly.
there. That's why I hunt with this guy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Gotta be
why-
savage at the
why-
end of the day.
First, I send a picture of a fucking lamb in a field, And he goes, in the cloak of darkness.
Just like, we're stealing this motherfucker.
Are you just waiting until night to go nab this lamb?
Yeah.
You fucking...
I got rope and some Kellogg's cornflakes. Let's get him
We're
at
getting this
midnight.
motherfucker in the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we ended up on New Year's Eve. We butchered a lamb, slaughtered it, and then cooked it over an open fire. And it was like, this is the way people are supposed to live. This is how things are supposed to be done.
It felt
And-
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only combining two things that are very important to the human psyche and spirit, fire and food. Mm-hmm. And when you bring that and you combine community,
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's a very interesting aspect. You finish that off. I got another one.
Okay.
The Prosecco.
But it is a very interesting thing. And these are things that's why this book is interesting, because it hits on core tenets. Like I said, that story of like, I think this is all antenna-based stuff. And when I went hunting that first time, it set off something I've never hit. There's antennas in our body that people don't get. That's why the gym is popular, right?
This goes into our next book.
So
we're going to cover this.
So you can take all of that, and it's like human beings have all these antennas that can create great things. My pushback on this is that we have an ability to see that and spread the information of that. The fact that this guy wrote this book says something so much about human beings that a penguin can't describe the way a lemur or an electric eel senses and shocks things the way an elephant could.
But this goes back to what I'm talking about. Why do they need to? They don't. They don't need to do any of that to live a good life. And that's what we're fucking forgetting.
No, not live a good life. You can still live a good life as a human too, but what the benefit, the ones that survive and go on are the ones that understand your environment. And if a human, you can understand the environment of a ladybug, or like we're talking about structures and how that applies to science, or flight of understanding a bird and lift and teardrop wing structure.
We understand that. We understand as a human, we understand ourselves. And we also understand other creatures. And that's where compassion comes in. Because we do understand. You don't see a fucking shark being compassionate to a fucking...
Yeah, it's a Terminator.
But this isn't understanding of emotion. This is understanding of structure, of existence, of the senses. Nothing about whether you can see through heat or see through electromagnetism has anything to do with emotion.
No.
It's about your antennas and how you see reality,
Yeah.
right? And like that hunting thing, for my emotion, yes, it hit something. But what was it? I felt and I tracked animals that I'd never even tried hunting large animal, but something hit. You're using antennas that people have, that everything
natural inside yourself.
Everyone.
Not a fucking 5G fucking tower. You know, I keep saying 5G like I'm a goddamn conspiracy theorist. But I think that there's things that we do naturally that if we just turned off the fucking lights, we would start finding those senses. And maybe turning off the lights is turning off the fucking power to the tablet inside of your fucking pocket. And then going and finding like how you are supposed to live naturally. And by naturally, I mean without any technology past a sharp fucking rock.
I'm fucking this up. I'm fucking this up big time. Let me rephrase this. Where we are currently, like human beings in the 1900s, right?
Yep.
If you were to like imagine yourself
21st century
in a million years, where do you think people would be, right? If in the loggers, 1905, right? You had early people and you're like, imagine where you'll be. And they're like, well, maybe we'll have flying cars, the Jetsons. You get more of that idea, I think. But right now, in 2024, with AI and technology, and understanding what reality really is and how things can be accelerated, Where do you see things in a million years?
A million?
A million. Just the way in...
Do you think the human species still exists?
No,
1
not the way it
million.
does.
You could be diverse.
I think
it's going to go somewhere.
I
It
think
has to go.
AI is
Yes.
with
Massive
AI
threat.
have created a new fucking species.
A new predator, a new apex
No.
predator.
Well,
It's
it
not.
doesn't-
It's consciousness.
It doesn't
what
need
just,
to be. Well, yeah, which
I
is
don't-
what?
is
Which
it yet, though?
consciousness is a species.
Yeah.
Period. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It
No,
doesn't
it's
matter
an
if it's in a
ability to
fucking,
process.
But so a bee has
Yeah,
an
yeah.
ability to process the fact that it.
That's
I
actually
need-
a great point. Good species. Yeah.
So
I
we
hear
have
you.
created a species of some sort. How that interacts with the rest of the fucking world, we have no fucking clue, and that's the scary
No
part.
one does.
Because we go, is this going to be a foe?
Does
Is this
it?
going to be a fucking friend?
But what is
We have no
evolution?
clue.
I have no clue how this genetic change or randomness or due to environment
It is-
changes the structure.
It is evolution.
yes.
It is evolution. I understand that. I
Is it
understand.
truly conscious though? Because a lot of these examples, like you cannot get it to praise Donald Trump and you cannot get it to ridicule Joe Biden, which
'Cause it's
shows that it
written.
right.
Because it's
well,
woke.
exactly.
But you're doing-
that's
But
that
it's
is- that's
species,
programmed.
but
then.
that's-
not
No,
intelligence.
that's
That's
not-
not a sentient being.
But what is a child, right? What is what is
Well,
it?
hang on.
No.
Yeah, that's where I was leading you
Environment.
guys. Are reprograms.
Of course, we're programs.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're getting back
Everything, everything's a program
that
because
fucking sucked you into my trap.
because AR, AI is is a natural thing in the sense of
we made it.
a program, and the natural thing. Like I've been saying, like we need to go back, right? When we start seeing damage of the natural thing, everything we do as humans is natural, right?
Yes.
It's a natural thing to fucking build this
We're
plastic
organic.
table.
It's organic. It's made by people.
We
through an
made
organic
this
process.
We did this thing. This fucking
Yes.
space
Yes.
heater is a
Yes.
natural thing
Yes.
because we've made it. We've created it with a natural mind, and that is just a tool that we have created, just like a fucking monkey using a goddamn piece of
Stick.
straw to go down a rabbit hole or whatever the fuck.
But it's technology.
It's
still.
technology, and I understand.
Yes.
Yes, it's natural, and,
Yes.
I understand that. But I think like I said, at some point we separate ourselves from the shark because we can sense what other fucking umwelts are going on, like this book
But why
describes.
do you sense it?
Because we have the ability in our mind to go, hey, we have this fucking thought process.
brain.
And
Yeah.
the brain that they don't talk about. But
Like the scarecrow.
but this is the thing. Like we go down these fucking rabbit holes of or I'm going down this rabbit hole of what's
Yes.
natural, what's not. And
Yes.
I think at some point it is up to us as a species, human
Yes.
species, with the ability to go, we are creating things that are fucking other creatures up. And we need these creatures for certain things to rely on as a civilization for only food. But that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to fucking with our food. It comes down to fucking with our bottom line. And that bottom line is survival.
Food, water,
Yeah.
shelter, safety.
So we are fucking getting down to this fucking thing where we're beating up the bees, we're beating up the birds, we're doing all this different
Fucking
thing
the fish.
with
fucking you with the cell phones. They're fucking you with the cell phones.
they're getting us with the cell phones, dude.
Yeah.
But we are really at that point where we need to step back and go, it is natural, it is evolution, it is humans doing what humans do, but at what point do we step back and go, okay, maybe we opened up that door and we see inside this room and we need to close it a little bit and go, okay, let's regroup and let's understand that maybe we need to go past that door before we can mess with what's inside. And that's AI. That's these towers, that's all the stuff that's going on. Maybe we should take a step back and go, yes, we can do that. It would be beneficial in this way, and this way, but it's also really negative in all of these other ways that we haven't yet been able to mitigate the problems that we're creating. So until we can come up with a solution for opening up that door and having less issues, maybe we should just not open the door until we figure that out and move forward in a different way. But some motherfucker is getting paid a lot of money in an office, and he goes, I don't give a fuck. Why? Because I'm feeding me. Because that's the selfish shit that a shark has. And that's why we're related to the goddamn shark.
Yes, I think every animal is like that. It's
Opportunistic.
yes,
Because
as to
they
what
want
its
to get-
environment is.
And we're
human beings are different because they can reflect upon what am I doing on this environment.
Yeah, but
right?
we're not.
So
that's why we're having division
we
within
do,
our.
but
We are not acting on it
No.
as a group
because
but that's
it
why you
doesn't
have people protesting.
afford people
fucking
money.
Yeah, exactly.
To be, and things have been lost. Yes. Part of this book I
If the
enjoy
world was
is
once-
understanding how harmonious the world can actually be and that there is a better way, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
what Mike Zedong always talks about, is that it can be better, right?
It can absolutely be better.
And
100%.
there is
and
a
you know how
more
you go better? You take some steps backwards.
You take steps
Less
backwards,
communication.
but you don't allow
less-
companies
less-
to pour fucking chemicals in rivers.
Yeah, but that's where
Or onto farm fields. And
That's
crops.
You
where-
don't.
that's
yes,
where you have less
You don't
communication.
have like
less is more in a lot of ways.
Yes.
If
we
we were
realize
together
it's-
and we go, hey, you know what? We're gonna live together on a 2,000 acre farm with our 100 best buddies, and we're gonna just have a society inside this fucking wall, and just say, for all intensive purposes, this wall is the world, and everything inside of it is our world, and all we have to do is fucking figure out a way to live inside this world.
Yeah.
And it's this big 2,000 acre fucking property.
yeah.
And nobody has any sense of like, we need to go beyond the wall because there's more. That's not a fucking what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we could live inside this fucking area, small, working together, working for each other, and trying to get this utopia of world, like of our world. And we could live very easily by honesty, by working hard together, having all the things that we need. We could provide each other in a tight-knit group. And understanding, like, some people are going to get up and farm, some people are going to get up and sew, some people are going to get up and do, X, Y, and Z, and say we can hunt out, we can hunt, and we're hunting, and we're gathering, and we're doing all these different things. We could live like that. Why do we need this fucking, all this other rigmarole, all this other stuff is for other people to make money?
No.
Or it's mind
It's-
control. Like what
No.
is television? What is your smartphone? What is radio?
No.
casting.
You
right?
guys
we
are missing
controlling
no,
your
no, no, no.
minds.
You're missing.
You are driving down the freeway
No.
right now, and I am controlling your mind.
You're missing something
Do
very.
not think about elephants.
You're
Guess what you're thinking
missing
about?
something very big from the human experience. And what the human experience is something why we're at the gym all the time is because of community.
Yep.
They don't talk about this in this book. The brain is the thing that senses what we feel.
Because this
Well,
guy doesn't do jujitsu.
No,
Yeah.
yes,
hang
no.
on. He missed a large part of the experience of life, which
Yes.
I think which is why I chose our next book, because we're going to tie it in. And it's what you're saying, Mike. Go ahead.
Whoa.
We live. No. You look through the animals, and this is why I always say, give it up to the brain, give it up to compassion, the understanding, the ability to write this book. All of these senses that all of these fucking animals have. I'm sorry to swear. That these animals have.
These goddamn animals.
animals.
That these animals have is
Mike
to
loves
survive.
animals.
And what is survival? Survival is eating, which is killing
Yep.
when you're an animal,
Yep.
and reproduction, right? And it's basic
Feasting
anatomical.
and-
Fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's basic anatomical hierarchy, right? You're going for survival. And that's what drives evolution. That's what drives all these factors. But the point that human beings have in this is that they have something that brings them together. The fact that you can care. The fact that you can have compassion
empathy
or
and
understanding for others in your group, or maybe someone outside your group, or maybe you have a philosophy like the United States of America where everyone has a choice or ability. So through doing all these things, so looking at these animals and how they have different senses, right? It's not about the senses. It's about what's happening around you. It's not about how you perceive. It's about how your group works together. Everything's going to perceive something different. You can be left. You can be right. You can see through sound. You can see through vibration. You can see through heat. But what you're doing is understanding reality.
Yes. Okay. So this brings me back to what I was trying to talk about early on in the episode, is that we understand our senses as being passive receivers, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Like we feel a touch.
Until you have something stimulate you, you don't notice it. Yes.
We know of at least one that is a proactive transmitter, and that's consciousness. What if more of our senses are proactive transmitters, and a lot of our reality is created, just like sonar is a proactive, it transmits a sound out.
You have to have something to hit it for it to bounce back.
So what if more of our senses are more proactive than we know?
Why do you think I talk about that elk hunting? I've never had an experience where I had to pursue an animal. I was proactive in my actions of trying to kill something. Yes. And all of a sudden, my hairs are raising up. And I'm noticing I have a feeling in my heart to go this way. I don't know there's animals this way, but what do? I go that I have a feeling, and I'm going off that. And what do? I bump animals. These are antennas. This is why this book,
why did he
Mike's
thrust his hips when he said that?
He was trying to bump the animal.
I'll bump you. But this book hits on that, because it's like, dude, there are fucking, just the way like you do enough jujitsu, you do enough shooting, you have inherent things that you're like, dude, I'm hitting on something internal. Yep. There's internal structures in us, and like all kinds of animals have all different ways of perceiving reality. But what we're talking about is antennas of understanding the world around you. Yeah. And this book just made me think of that. I'm sorry. Hang
on. This book refers to the passive receiving part of the sensory environment. And I think what we're going to get into in the next book is the active participation and the transmitting part of the sensory environment, which is fucking cool. And you start to think about the idea that we can affect reality and our environment by the signals we transmit. Not just by like, hey, we exist here and we are observing existence as we sort of passively pass through it. No.
The law of
attraction. What if we are proactively involved in creating it? Yeah. Which is,
yeah. And I think we are.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I don't.
No?
We're vessels in here with certain antennas, and we're just trying to scramble and see what God's saying.
Okay.
And we're trying to survive through that.
Well, the next book report is going to be fascinating, like a good conversation.
Yeah, dude. I love it. Yeah. Wait, dude.
I made you say that.
What?
Let's just fight him, Jordan.
No, I made you say that. Yeah. I thought I needed to project a little bit of pushback on this.
Yeah. We need fucking world government Mike Zedong to fight back on this one.
Dude, that's what it's about, though. Like I was saying earlier.
I proactively projected you to fight against this. And that is the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
Okay, I said earlier.
Sorry.
I don't think I could do this podcast solo. If someone gave me a microphone and they're like, "I want you to
talk to yourself for 40 minutes,"
but I'm just joking. I'm just
no. I know, dude. I love you, bro. You're good. What I'm saying is that this is so fucking fun to me. The way that I come into something, that way that you guys come into something. Everyone has their own interpretation. And this is what I love. What we talk about is how divided the world is. And we're all different motherfuckers. I am so opposite of each and other. You guys, we have commonalities, but we have our own take. And that's what the beauty of doing this is going deep into
dialogue.
something, to read a book, to have different viewpoints, to argue, to come together, to have someone change your viewpoint. And like these things, I come in heated and hot. Mike
comes
is
in frothy at the mouth.
I'm a double gauge shotgun right now. But it's
Keep going.
because I enjoy doing this. What did I say when we started this? This is about mental masturbation and like idea sex. And like, I would have never, ever read this book. But it makes
what
me
else?
think about
What
sensory.
other kinds?
What?
Ideas and mental.
In the mail?
Yeah, he keeps saying coming into something, and all I was thinking was some guys are doing it into goats.
Idea sex.
A sea cow?
Manatees.
No, this is
Continue.
good. This was a very good book, Jordan. And I like it because it's not just one thing.
You want to know a secret?
Yes.
I'll tell you a secret.
Tell me.
I just like the monkey on the cover.
You know what's funny is I enjoyed that too because I felt like when I was down at my mom's for Christmas, I felt smart. I was like, yeah, I'm reading a book with an animal on the cover. It's advanced.
I am science based, yet I like cute things.
The History of Kittens, Beethoven. Look at him play.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're
Hang on.
hang on. You got something? If you got more, go.
No,
But
I
feel
don't
like we're
have
running out of
more.
steam.
But this book, Jordan,
Uh-huh.
how'd you come across it? What made you read this book?
I
Was it
thinking
in your,
based
like,
on
your-
hunting? I was thinking about like hunting, and I was thinking about like what, like I said, the night vision. I was thinking about, and not, granted, I don't use night vision for hunting. I'd love to though. But I was thinking about different things like that, and like, is there an edge I could get on some sort of a thing with deer, or like, why is it that do deer move around at night? Do deer move more during the day? Like, I just
100%,
wasn't
yeah.
sure what the deal was with how it interacted with that. And I've always been fascinated with animals, and there was a monkey on the cover.
Bruce
So
Willis.
why did you? So that was your interest in reading the book. That's how you
I
got
like-
it. Was
I-
through hunting. Why did you recommend it?
I thought it was, I forget what we were talking about, but we were talking about something to do with just animals in general. I forget exactly what our conversation was, but we talked about animals.
I feel like we talk about animals.
Yeah, quite a bit.
on here.
Well, it was just individually, and I think we were on a hunting trip or something like that, and I had seen it, and then I was like, oh, I'm curious. I started listening to it, and then when we started doing the book reports, I was like, oh, that would be a good one because of the cool, like, I think Tobin talked about something that had to do with some sort of an animal's, the umwelt of some fucking animal, and it was just like,
I've never heard that word till we.
well, you weren't talking about that. It just tied into one of the fucking animals that were on here, and it was like, oh, that's interesting, and And if I do a science one, they're gonna think I'm smart.
Yeah.
They're gonna think I'm better than I am.
Jordan's a biologist. If you didn't know.
Interesting. Good to know.
I've had 20
I like
cats in my life.
I like that you
I'll
went
have
with the
know.
animals book. I'm gonna try and pick one of the books I've read throughout the times
Hang
about
on.
animals.
So
but
what's actually kind of fun about all this is like Mike gave us space and time. Then we went to Jordan biology. And now,
we did Peleliu. We did.
Well, no. I'm saying just the last two.
yeah.
The sequence of the last two. We went from space and time to biology, and now we're going to tie it all a little bit together.
With the next book called
The Divine Matrix.
The Divine Matrix. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
stars and narrates.
I think this one's written by Morpheus.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Either
Or
way,
might be a guy
Didn't
named,
his daughter
it might be a
do
guy
a
named Greg
porno?
Braden, but I'm pretty sure it's Morpheus.
a lot of leather jackets are going to be had.
Well,
I have
and
some-
Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
Guys, get your
Ray-Bans.
Ray-Bans, guys.
Sunglasses with no rails.
Yeah. Get ready.
Yeah,
Get ready.
clip your nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want a blue pill or red pill?
Isn't blue pill Viagra?
Let's cut this fucker off. I love you guys. Goodbye.